From time to time, I am going to give a ruling on a topic that I personally know nothing about. It's outside of my life frame of reference. This is one of those times. I know basically nothing about trophy hunting. Trophy hunting is when you kill an animal so you can take like its head and hanging up on your wall. You see people, they have like moose heads or bear heads or lion heads. Usually when I see these things, it's from old movies. There's one where they'll have like a bear rug and it'll be like the head of a bear, but like, the fur, and the fur will be like the rug. I used to see it like on Woody Woodpecker cartoons and stuff. I didn't know this was a common thing that's done in supposed civilized nations, but evidently this is a thing, and I have a ruling for the correct answer religion to share with you. So if you are a follower of this religion, you should adhere to this. And that is, it is forbidden unto you to kill a defenseless animal for your own glory, for your own arrogance. You may not kill an animal so you can take its head and put it up on your wall and praise yourself like you've done something. That's awful. All animal abuse is forbidden in this religion. The running of the bulls that they do, no, you don't do anything like that. You are to treat all animals kindly and humanely. You may eat animals. This is not a vegan or vegetarian or anything like that religion, but you must treat them humanely. You must treat them as compassionately as you absolutely can. If you see an animal crying for its young, you cannot take its young from it. An animal should be considered like a human being with developmental disabilities whenever possible, because they have feelings. Their consciousness is different than ours. I don't know how they perceive everything. This knowledge is only with God, but they have feelings, and they will be resurrected on the day of judgment. What Allah is going to do with them, that's with that knowledge is with Him. I don't know. But you cannot abuse animals. You cannot kill an animal for any other reason except for safety and food. Your safety, the safety of society, and food for yourself, your family, society. That's the only reason you may kill any animal. What about zoos? Zoos are permissible. You know what a zoo is? A zoo is where you go and see the animals with your kids. You go, you watch them in the cages. These type of things are only permissible if it's in the commission of saving the life of the animal. So if you have a learning center that's a zoo where you take animals that are injured or animals that are realistically unable to survive in the wild, this happens with animals, and you raise them, and in order to finance your ability to raise them, you have visitation centers that are like a zoo, that's fine. The sin is taking a healthy animal that belongs in the wild, or taking a sea creature and put SeaWorld, things like that, horrible sins. Don't do that. The whales and such, they do not belong in miniaturized man-made swimming pools. No, these are ocean creatures. You leave them in the ocean. On the day of judgment, a society will be judged on three things: how it treats its people, how it treats its land, and how it treats its animals. All followers of this deen have a duty to be compassionate to its people, its land, and to the animals of this world. See, there's a little bit of truth in just about every observation and just about every religion. You can find a little bit of truth. Even in made-up theories like the laws of attraction. There's actually a lot of truth in the law of attraction, to a sense. See, we are made up of various fields like magnetic fields. We're not magnets, obviously, but we are products of consciousness and fields that we don't understand. That knowledge is with God. But when you act wicked, when you act evil, the field that attracts wickedness and evilness inside of you becomes enhanced, and you attract more of those people to you. So when you're evil, when you're wicked, you're going to attract wicked and evil people unto you. And they're going to do their wickedness and evilness unto you and unto things that you care about. Now, sometimes you'll be a good person, you'll be virtuous, but you'll be in the land of evil. You'll be surrounded by evil. There's no escaping it. Maybe you're someone in the United States right now. For people under those stresses, God protects them with his own tranquility. If you are a truly humble person, if you come to God truly humbly, and you reflect on your sins, your arrogance, your bad actions, and you come to God wanting to better yourself, you will see that as you approach him in sincerity, the weight of your burdens will become removed. I didn't say your burdens are going to disappear. I said the weight of your burdens will be removed. The closer you are to God, the less affected you are by hardship. The less you care about loss, the less you care about materialism. And there is no such thing as post-traumatic stress. There is no such thing as post-traumatic stress. There is no such thing as OCD. All of these are diseases when man attempts to run his own world. The atheist will tell you that religion is the opiate of the masses. You know what an opiate is? An opiate is a drug. An opiate is a drug that has three functions. It gets rid of pain, it gets you high, and it's addicting. These are the three functions of an opiate. And the atheist says that religion is the opiate of the masses. And I am here to declare that the atheist is right when it comes to this statement. How does it relieve pain? Well, for example, for post-traumatic stress, you know everything is in God's hands. It gets rid of OCD instantly. And if you're in a horrible situation and you can't avoid that situation, it can put you in a mental state of tranquility where you are existing outside of the pain that is being caused unto you by visual and physical stimulus. See how right they are? It is just like an opiate. If I were to get into a car right now and drive that car, I would do so without any fear. I would be respectful to the other drivers, because I depending on my circumstances, I don't know if the person behind me, maybe they need to go to the ER, maybe they have a relative, some type of family emergency. That's why they're driving like a maniac. Me personally, I'll be considerate and I'll just drive on my merry way. I'm completely fearless. Why? Because I know if God has decreed it for me to be killed by a drunk driver, I'm going to be killed by a drunk driver. Nothing I do is going to stop that. And if God has decreed it for me to make it home safely, I will make it home safely regardless of how many drunk drivers are on the road with me. This is a religion that commands its followers to speak the truth in all matter of religion. And this is the truth. I appreciate the moments in life where I am gently guided to understanding, awareness, to broadening my horizons. Because God can guide you, violently or gently. He can make you humble by beauty. You can look at the beauty of nature and be humbled by that. Or you can get a crippling disease and be humbled by that. My moment of guidance, my added moment of clarity, it happened to me yesterday. I was listening to a podcast. It actually happened to me just now before I hit the recorder. The process started yesterday. So yesterday I was listening to a podcast. It was a historic podcast. They were talking about history and humanity and consciousness and all types of interesting things. Basically the stuff I talk about, but without religion as much. And then one person says to the other person in a very depressing tone, most people, they can't even name their own grandfather. And the host was puzzled. He was like, yeah, I remember what I called mine. I can find out. And he was talking about how depressing it is that we forget everything and no one is remembered in history. And that was puzzling to me. I'm like, well, they could just listen to their podcasts. If I were to ever have kids or grandkids or whatever, they could always just play one of my podcasts. Like somehow my brain had created an understanding that everyone does what I do. like you all go home and you talk and you have your own little podcast. I've done this for so long that it's become so familiar to me that the idea that this could be alien to someone is foreign to me. That's an alien idea to me. See, you have to be careful because to a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. And that is a very deep saying. That is a saying that is both literal and metaphorical. It's a hybrid. This is a complete reading of all the revelations I have been given thus far. This reading is valid as of May 24th, 2022. Again, this is from the Book of Thought. This was the book that was revealed unto me. You are under no obligation to read or recite these prayers as a believer. These are just given to you as a means of serenity. This Book of Thought is completely unique. There's nothing else like it. This religion is completely unique. It is forbidden to collect money in this religion. There is no tithing in this religion. Once I start reading, I'm going to stop doing commentary. I'm just going to read straight through. So just another point I would like to point out. The name of God is Allah, not Allah. It's a completely different thing again. This is not the Muslim God. This is not a God of forced ritual. This is not a God that burdens his creation with absurdities. Let's begin. 'Tis not possible. No man can speak the truth without being hated. 'Tis not possible. How can it be so? You must either offend the brother, father, mother of such, and as such you will be hated by the hypocrites. You will come at a time when the hypocrites are strong. They will be strong in numbers, and they will be strong with hypocrisy. I will end the intoxication of their arrogance with shame and mockery. I shall shackle them in shame and mockery and lead them to the path of my vengeance. For ye who delight in the torment of others will have their delight repaid unto them with the suffering of thirst. They will be prevented from the mercy of being able to beg for mercy. I will make you something strange to them until they have been bestowed in my comfort. I will place wind on top of wind and fuel it with my contempt for wickedness. I will then command this wind to hunt the wicked for me. I will command this wind to pulverize the wicked in my name. I will make the streets of the land noble by washing them with the blood of the wicked. Through their own ears, as if being spoken to by themselves, to themselves, they will curse themselves. They will blaspheme in placing their judgment before mine. They will blaspheme by placing their arrogance before my knowledge of all things. My horsemen will be protected by the seen and unseen as ordered on my decree. I will put anger in the sun and command it to hurl its contempt upon my challengers. O mankind, be not people of superstition, be people of righteous study, and thou shalt be people of righteous guidance. Allah is the impeccable, the one who bestows, the one who subtracts, the one who guides, the one who allows, the architect, the artist, the educator, the final punisher, the judge, the one, the commander, the forgiver, the compassionate, the merciful, the irresistible, the uncontainable, the unstoppable, the one who cannot be seized, the defeater of all challengers, the patient, the equalizer, the humbler, the all-knowing. Say, O dear Allah, We beg you to make it easy for us to come to you. We beg you to remove any obstructions caused by our arrogance and our ignorance. We beg you to protect us from the temptations of wickedness and from the false promises of pride. We beg you to keep us in a state of enlightenment so that we may be aware. O dear Allah, if it is your plan that my wish be fulfilled, it shall be so. If it is not, I beg that you enlighten me with the comfort to accept your decision with peace and tranquility. Prayer that has been inspired unto me. Do not let governments divide us. Do not let nationalism divide us. Do not allow wealth to divide us. Do not allow the color of skin to divide us. Only allow truth to unite us. O dear Allah, please forgive the sins that we make in both states of love and in states of contempt.